Do not set yourself on fire trying to keep somebody else warm. I don't know who the quote is by. However, I'm going to leave that out in the open. If you know who it is by, please comment their name below so that I can give them their credit. If you're new here, welcome to the channel dedicated to growth and development, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and of course, financially. The money has to be there. We need to survive. So my name is Kamasi and I do a video every week. If you like my vibes, energy, or just what I'm saying, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. I realize that a lot of persons are starting to watch the videos and are not remembering to subscribe. So let me just remind you. Now let's talk about unsupportive friends, unsupportive family, and an unsupportive wider population. This has been and continues to be known to affect a lot of persons when they find out they want to do something and they cannot get that support that they need, right? It's very rare to get the support that you need. Now let us look at it this way. There's a thing where we say the narrative, I don't remember exactly what it is called, where we say give and don't really expect to receive, that's how you receive. And yes, I am in line with it, but there is also a part of me that says give but you should be receiving. Let me explain. I am giving. If I don't give, somebody doesn't receive. If she doesn't give, I don't receive. So it's a cycle. I understand that yes, they're not supposed to expect anything in return. But in regards to energy and all those stuff, I believe that you should. Like, I was in the mindset, give, and don't think about what you're receiving. You're receiving due time. I am receiving now, but it took a couple hurdles to fly over for me to say, alright, I'm going to have to pull back my energy a bit. Sometimes it takes pulling back your energy and your effort into people for them to realize that, oh, she was actually doing this all along and I was actually benefiting from this or that. Sorry, I'm looking down the road. Actually benefiting from this or that, right? And that's okay. Some people grow and understand, but there are others that will always be stuck in one mindset. I don't need to support her. No, the big thing is in career, school, business wise, when you look at it, a lot of persons will not support you because they're insecure, they have regrets, or they just did not get the opportunity that you did. Let me first jump on regrets. And you say, if somebody regrets something, why won't they help me to reach there? Some persons look at it and say, sorry, since I didn't go there and I'm surviving, why should I help you when I did not have the help? It's like having a parent who went to a very traumatic experience and you're, in your head as a child you're saying, alright, mommy went through this or daddy went through this. So they will do everything for me not to go through the same experience. Bam bam two twos, you're going through the same experience and worse. Guidance, yes, but to a teen, no. And I understand where sometimes we have to learn to push ourselves, but there's some situations that we don't have to go in, or we didn't have to go in if we had supportive persons around. So that's kind of regrets. Nobody never support me, so me not support you because I made it to an extent. Even when they know that they're uncomfortable and there are things they wish they had done and there are things that they can point out to you to ensure that you live in a sense a better life or be in a better mindset, right? But a lot of persons won't do that. A lot of persons get stuck in the lesson. We get hurt, and I'm gonna say we as humans, we get hurt, and persons don't understand that you're not supposed to be stuck in the pain. You're supposed to go through the pain and learn from it. A lot of persons don't understand that, and I think that's where a lot of things start to get stumbled up in the world, where persons are still stuck in the pain. I should do this to me, so I'm not trust nobody else, or I'm not gonna look out for nobody else. If they want drop in a hole, them drop in a hole, right? So I think that's where the narratives come from. Let's touch on insecurities now. So if you are coming from the bottom and you know you're asking somebody for some support, if you realize that you have, I don't want this to sound too much, but you'll have a celebrity selling something and you're selling something better, and somebody else that you know will find $10,000 to spend elsewhere and then want to run back to you when it doesn't work while you were selling it all along for a cheaper price at a better quality, right? Some persons are insecure. Some persons would love, and I know you've seen the quote all over the internet, some persons would love for you to grow. But as soon as they start to grow to an extent where they feel that they have to be learning from you, not a lot of persons like to learn. They feel like they have to learn from you. It's like they're like, nope, we're from the same place. Why should I be learning from you? They would rather to go out in the world and learn from somebody else. And sometimes what they might learn a crap, and that's just it. I'm not going to put you up. A lot of what they learn does not make any sense. Foolishness, rubbish. But they don't want to learn from you because they don't want to feel like they're inferior. And I think this generation have the narrative where you have to be a leader. A lot of persons don't know that you learn by listening, right? You learn more by listening. You can't learn more by talking. What you will do when you talk is you'll get point of view. So you will learn, you will see other person's opinions, you'll hear about other person's experience and all of that. But when you listen, there are so many things that are going around in the air. And I understand the concept where you have to filter what you hear and try to train your brain in a sense to say, alright, I'm going to take this out or I'm going to take that out. But, you know, when you look at it from a point of view, you still have to say, alright, I heard this or I heard that. You have to be able to pick, choose, and refuse what is valuable to you. Sometimes we pick and we don't pick what's valuable, and we still drop in a hole because what's valuable, we term it as hard to do because it takes us coming out of our comfort zone, right? And that happens to a lot of us. It has happened to me before. I didn't drop in a hole, but I was so close to dropping in the hole because sometimes we fear change. And change is inevitable. So either you let it happen to you or you be a part of the ride. And when you let it happen to you, you are not going to learn, you're not going to grow. You're just going to be getting dragged along. You know, like when you tie something on the back of a vehicle and they're really driving, they're driving really fast, and the thing is just dragging and it scrape up, and after a while it's not there anymore. That's what's going to happen. And so you have to understand that, you know, some persons are insecure. Some persons will say, alright, other persons are out there and they have more resources than you, and they have more, I don't want to, you know, they have more followers and all those stuff. And they will say, alright, don't do it because you lack of resources. Whatever, do something. And I said this in a video before. Everybody, I do this already. And I said this in another video. The world is so big. Don't put your box in a box. Don't put your brain in a box. Don't put your brain on a narrow road. The world is so big. We haven't even seen half of it. There are countries that we have never heard about. There are islands country that we've never heard about. There are places that are said to be extinct that aren't. There are so many people in the world that will support us, right? And when it is your time, it is your time. You ever realize that when you're doing something and no matter how much you try, it's not working, and then one day it just blows up and you're like, oh, whoa, what's going on, right? At your time and not just your time, and nobody can take away at your time, right? But you have some people that no matter what you do, they won't support you. And you just have to understand that some persons are just like that. It's not that they're in regret, they're insecure. It's not any of those things. They just don't want to support you because you're just you. And that might sound weird, and you say, I don't do them nothing, I'm talk to them every day, or with friends, or first, that's not your friend. With friends or stuff like that. But they just won't support you. Even when you have what they need. So I should press on that point. Even when you have what they need, they will not support you. Right? And everything makes up life. I forgot another point because I'm not reading off anything. So sometimes I do. I know I said insecurities. I know I said regrets. I don't remember what else I said. But this video shall continue. So, let's touch on what you need to understand now. You cannot seek validation from people. Let me tell you why before you say, no, whatever. If you're doing a project or something and you need an opinion or an insight on what to change because you're not sure, you're not familiar in the environment or the concepts that you're doing, that's different. But when you need validation for what you're doing in everyday life, you give away your power. And a lot of persons don't believe in this. And, a lot of persons talk about being awake and that, but a lot of you don't know what it is. It is very dangerous. It's not something where you just start knowing about things. It's very dangerous. You see, the more your mind opens up, is the more you see things. And it's not all people think it's about seeing magically in a sense, but not really. The thing is, you'll start to see things that others don't, and in this world you'll be pushed down to believe that it is this way when you know it's not. Somebody ever tell you, it's like, alright, you know that a tree is green, and the tree is green to everybody, but in their head the tree is orange. So they're going to tell you that the tree is orange. I don't know if you explain that the tree is green, because the same color goes in their eye as yours. But when they do all that, and all that chemical reaction happens in the brain and the eyes and the neurotransmitters, they see orange, but you know that it's green. So it's a 100% telling you that it's orange and you know it's green as the one person. So you're under pressure to believe that it is orange when it's not orange. So, you were, mind you, you were a part of that 100. You were the 101 that used to say it was orange. So now that you're more aware and awake, you're like, oh, it's green. And people are saying, why you switch from orange to green? So that is another thing. Peer pressure helps us to succumb to stuff, and we have to be strong mentally. You cannot seek validation from everybody. When you give away your energy, as they do something that doesn't come in line with you, you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel weak. You're going to feel emotional breakdowns, right? And that's not what you want. But the thing is, sometimes we feel that we're halves. And we are not halves, we're wholes. Please stop letting person tell you that you're a half and you're a half and you need to go in a relationship as a half to make a whole and whatever. Two holes go in a relationship. Two persons that are working on. You ever realize that one person work on themselves and one person work on themselves? After a while, it's very hard for the relationship to grow because one person is going and one person refuses entirely to put in the effort and make the changes to grow. So sometimes that person doesn't want to leave you behind, but they are moving at a pace where they know that if I stop, I win myself. And I've wanted these things long before you. So either we're going to work together or we're not. That's why some person said doctor for the doctor, teacher for the teacher, etc. So you're on the same level in a sense. Yes, you can outgrow people, but but at the same time, if you are willing to work on yourself to be at a level, that's good. Because as soon as you find out that you're not a half and you start with the mindset that you are whole, things will start looking different. You will not only stop caring what other persons think, and this is a big thing. Because nobody know really business, honestly. Nobody know business. You ever realize something when you say, oh, John or James, I watched me 5 years ago. Today it is so irrelevant. You don't even remember about John and James. Oh, yeah, the one time you should go and parents go tell lie. Yeah, that's it. Them not important. After a while, they will be gone. But you have some of them now that they're always there, PP, clock. And they feed off you not being able to thrive or strive without somebody for support. And I understand where you want insight, but some people not got to feel inside because they can't even help themselves, honestly. Sorry, but that's true. They can't help themselves. What are you gonna get from them but negative energy? What are you gonna get from them for the 100 reasons why they failed? And some person love to push that on you. Well, living in a different generation, and I think this is the problem with this generation. We are so, what am I looking for? We are so trapped in the mindset of trying to be like others because the world pushes the narrative that we have to look this way. Everybody are trying. I'm not bashing anybody. If you want to be a body, that's fine. But a lot of them that are doing it are using it as mental not saying therapy to say, alright, I was insecure about my butt, but as soon as I get your butt done, you find out that I developed an insecurity for my waist, but it's not big enough for my butt, and then you go in something else. And that's an unsupported cause, because sometimes all we need is to feel like we're appreciated and we're on the right path. And then no, you're not, that not do good. You don't say, alright, there's a negative and a positive, which one do you want to hear first, right? Not the video not too grumble, but I just had to put everything that I think was supposed to go in this box, even though I said don't put your brain in a box, in this box right now. So when you look at it, some of the same person, that person are bashing, say why she could do that, why she could do this, they didn't have any support. And I understand where you need to thrive without support, but until you realize that you are a whole and not a half, you're gonna always have the problem. Everything that comes will affect you because you don't give away your energy already. You don't put people as priority. You are stuck in the mindset that you have to always be helping, and this happens to empaths and people like that, where you feel like you have to be helping and you keep on getting drained, and persons will attach themselves to you just for that reason, where they see that you're helpful and they can feed off whatever you're giving and drain you, and then they come back and some of them love to play victim. They're like, what, Mr. Porter this time, or Mr. I'm like, nope. When, right? So yeah, you don't need to seek validation. You don't need to care what anybody thinks. I understand that if you're choosing careers, no, sometimes you have to listen and not always work with what you want, but work with what's in demand, because you know that a lot of persons work with what they want, and it's more about what's in demand, so they lose their jobs, and especially in the corona time. You know that only certain professions are really active. Now, I'm not telling nobody to do that and be unhappy, but I'm telling you that sometimes when a person is not supporting your dream, it's for the best. Let me touch on something else with this for the best. A lot of us would not be where we are now if we were getting support. We would not have opened up our brain capacity to understand that, alright, they're not supporting me. And I don't like saying that you should prove people wrong. I don't. I believe that you should prove yourself right. But if it took proving persons wrong to reach the higher you and grow and develop, I don't know why I'm looking for the words, to grow and develop into that person that you are now, that mindset to understand that you're a whole and not a half, then I completely understand. What I don't want you to do now is to always try to prove people wrong, because you'll be stuck in that mindset and it will no longer be about you achieving a goals and coming out of the unsupportive environment. It will not be about you proving a point, which would put you back to square one as trying to seek validation, because when they say, yeah girl, you know. So I don't want that to be the case. There's something else that I'm forgetting. What the hell is it? Oh, do not take things so personal. This is the one. You don't want to forget this. Do not take things so personal. The moment you realize that some people just always gonna stay so, and when they talk, you just not take it up on your head, or you just let it slide, take what needs to be taken out of it, because most times they're valuable information. It might not be at the surface, but in most cases they're valuable information, right? So the moment that you start believing that you're a whole and not a half, and you're willing to work on yourself and change the things that you need to change, a lot of us don't like to take correction, but we have to in order to grow. As I said, our change will allow you to be dragged along, and I know that's not what you want. Don't seek validation from others. Stop caring what people think, because at the end of the day, 5 years don't lie, it doesn't matter. Where are these same people? Sometimes some of them dead, you know. So you don't need to always be, oh, you like this, oh, you don't like it, okay, and you're sad for the whole day. Your energy is down. You don't get to do anything. They're continuing with their life and nobody no business about you. Nobody even sees that you're sad. Why you go take take over your head? No, right? Do not take things so personal. Sometimes they're just reflecting their insecurities, their regrets, and the things that they wish they could do that they can't, and they see you with the opportunity to do. What are you going to do about that? Allow them to bring you down all the time because they cannot do something. It is not your fault. You know, if we were only capable of working together without feeling like competition as humans, in most cases, a lot of us can't do something. We are always competing, and competition is good. We open not only our brain capacity, but even our physical environments, our emotional and energetic environments, right? And that's fine. But if it always has to be a competition, then that's not going to work. You need to separate yourself from these persons. You need to be able to say, hey, we've been friends a long time, or known you, but you're not pushing the energy or the vibes that I want, or not learning from you, so I no longer need to be around you. And this is the thing, a lot of us are afraid to break connections off, but I used to just break, then after a while I stopped to give people a chance. But then, no, that never made no sense. Or maybe it's just the person that I have met. It didn't make any sense to me, and I'm like, alright. Now I see why I wasn't a certain way. I'm not saying that I'm going to be closed off forever to getting support, because you're going to need support at some point. Just like how your body needs support from a skeleton at some point. But don't let it be the 100% that you depend on. Be able to catch yourself when you are going down, because only you know what you're going through. A lot of persons can relate but cannot relate. You rarely find somebody that can actually relate and be honest with their relations, right? You notice a lot of persons don't go to therapy and things like that because there's a stigma attached to therapy. Yeah, we know some people in Jamaica go chat to. That's just true. But in other countries, I know you have therapists. Some persons can't afford it, and that's fine. But you can always come here. You can always check out my video on shadow work, which will help you. It has been helping me, but I'm kind of there on part with me kind of so pleased with myself. So I kind of take a break-ish until I'm ready to go back, right? So remember that you are you, and there's nobody else like you, and the world is so big. You might not have ever traveled, or you might have traveled and you haven't found a space, but me know you're not traveling all like country them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't travel. I'm not saying that you should travel all the countries, but there is somewhere in the world, and there's someone in the world that will appreciate you after you appreciate yourself. So don't go there looking for them to appreciate you. You can't even appreciate yourself. That don't make sense. So after you've appreciated yourself and you're like, okay, this is the kind of person, these are the kind of persons I need around that I can help and they can help without feeling like it's a competition, then yeah, you're on the right path, and you realize that all the things that had happened, and a lot of persons don't understand, all the things that has happened in the past shape you today. So yes, me regret that if you did not have that experience, you wouldn't have the knowledge to not drop in this big hole this time. Please remember that. A lot of persons don't remember, oh, it's that one experience that I hate, that's why I'm so brave now, and I'm able to not fit in and feel comfortable with being somewhat of an outcast. A lot of persons aren't gonna say that, because we ourselves have regrets, and if we are unable to deal with our regrets, how can you expect somebody that's unable to deal with their regrets support you? Right? And in turn, you might not be supporting somebody and you don't even realize, because sometimes some of these persons honestly don't realize it's just building their character, and they just to say no, that not look good. They have done it for so long, they have practiced that habit for so long, that after a while it becomes a part of their character, then it becomes a part of their personality, and unconsciously they just start doing it. So if you don't mind, you are talking about somebody that's unsupportive, you might end up being the one that somebody talks about as unsupportive if you don't learn to have a level of control over your life, to say, alright, I need to work on this. I need to stop asking them this and feeling bad about it. I need to understand that them no business with me, I'm no need for business with them, because next couple years down the line, I'm going to see them, because we might dead, me might dead, he might dead, she might dead. Or they might say, I'm so proud of you, because I don't know why they love to say that when they're not. They're just wondering how you made it even through all of the negative energy that they had dished out. So we are now at the end of the video. I want to say thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. See you next week. I'm hoping to give you that surprise that I promised in my first video. If you want to know what it is, I'm going to repeat it here. Please go and check out my first video for the surprise that I promised some point along my YouTube journey. Thank you so much for watching. Continue to have a lovely day. See you next week.